Welcome to our second episode of Real Time Real Estate. I'm Sandra King.
I'm Casey Lyons.
And we have with us today Jere Fischer from Academy Mortgage.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me up.
Yeah, we're
Appreciate
excited.
you coming. Yeah, cool. So how was your weekend? You're back from your long
It
trip.
was 4 days.
It was really long.
It was 4 days, and I'm glad you missed me.
I did miss you.
It was really good. We went to Flaming Gorge with the family, went fishing. I paddleboarded for the first time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was good comic relief. It was good.
I've always wanted to try paddleboarding. Was it
It's
fun?
good. Yeah, it's good. It's easy.
Oh, good. Good deal.
Yeah.
Did you do anything else exciting?
Just
hung out?
just hung out, just relaxed. It was a good time.
Much
The kids
needed.
loved it. They ate too many s'mores for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Never have too many.
That's
No,
right. That's
exactly.
Right. What'd you do this weekend, Jere?
Well, I didn't get an invite from Casey to go camping, so
I didn't either.
so I just went. I actually went camping as well. I went up to above Rudeye Reservoir and went camping up there and did some fly fishing on the Frying Pan River.
And got to see a bear.
I saw a bear for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids saw a bear, and kids are learning how to fly fish. So we had a good
Oh,
weekend fishing and hanging out with my wife, and my dad came up. So
Oh,
it was a
that's
good
nice.
time.
that.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, well, we're going to jump right into our second episode.
So
It's
exciting.
I think I can do it this time. Last time I was a little scared and
You got it.
nervous. And I think I forgot to mention that Peter's last name was Brixus, but other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got your first and last name and the company you work for in today.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully I don't ruin it all.
No, you'll be good. You'll be good.
So you're located in Grand Junction, but you can cover all of Colorado, correct?
Yeah, I'm licensed to do loans all in all of Colorado, which I'm hopefully maybe work on branching out to a couple other states just to
That's
expand
exciting, yeah.
lending possibilities in other states.
Oh, that's good because a lot of times we have people that are retiring and selling here and moving somewhere else out of the state of Colorado. Like I know we're doing a deal together with my people who are retiring to Montrose, but
Mm-hmm.
if they move out of state, it'd be handy for you to be able to help them.
Mm-hmm. And right now, Academy has several loan officers that are licensed in other states. So if there's need for that, we can always refer to those guys at the time being.
That's amazing.
Very good.
I know we have Florida. I think got a couple guys up in North Dakota, up in that area, Arizona, and a couple other states, Utah.
Cool. Very cool.
So tell us about your background. You grew up in Cedar Ridge?
Yeah, just another little small town like Craig, a little smaller than Craig, I
That's
think. So
exciting.
it's growing, but yeah, grew up in Cedar Ridge, Colorado, and was born in Delta.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So was my daughter-in-law.
Yep.
Very cool. So how do you think Cedar Ridge has changed compared to like when you were there to now? Is it growing and changing? Is it mostly retirees?
When I was there, I didn't really pay attention to things like that. When you're a kid, you kind of just
Sure.
focus
Yeah.
on what you're doing,
Right.
your friends and things like that. But now that I look back at it, it seemed like it was a retiree town, but there's a lot of youth in that town too. A lot of people live there and stay there, and once they get out of school, they make that their home. But it has changed. There's actually there used to be one stoplight in town that was kind of like a four-way flashing stoplight.
Right.
You don't really
Yeah.
stop, you just cruise through, but now they have a stoplight.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
moving up.
Yeah. There's it's a farming community, a lot of orchards and apple orchards,
Oh, neat.
a lot of hay and stuff and livestock in Cedar Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very cool. I'm from Hayden, and so we had like one kind of emergency stoplight, which is still an emergency stoplight. But now that they're building the new big come and go, I imagine they'll probably change it into like an actual
Stoplight.
legit stoplight. Yeah.
No stoplight in Maybell. Just
That's
roll
true.
on through. There's a
Yeah.
few stop signs, but those are optional, I hear too.
Yeah, recommended, but not required.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Optional.
yeah. Right. So what'd you do in high school? Did you play sports?
yeah, I played football, basketball, and baseball all 4 years in Cedar Ridge. So nice thing about the small towns, you have a lot of opportunity to
Right.
Yeah.
to play everything
That's
and get a little bit of playing time. So I did pretty well and had a good high school career in all three.
Nice. Pretty competitive guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you would be competitive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is a
it's-
good thing. I'm very competitive. I can't even play dominoes at my house. Like, we don't even play Monopoly.
Oh yeah, me and my kids, we're all competitive with each other, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think hopefully
That's a good way to
it'll transfer to those guys with that competitive mindset.
Good. Yeah, I think so for sure. I think it is.
So after high school, where did you go to college? Mesa?
Well, I had a little short stint in college. I played baseball for a little bit up in CNCC in Rangeley, and then I forego that route, and then I went up to Western State and I played football there for a little bit. But yeah, college wasn't my path of choice, so I didn't finish. But
That's all right.
you know, it's not for everybody.
I did trade
I
school.
didn't either.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't finish college. I went for a semester and a half.
Yeah,
So
and then I end up, you know, after a little bit of career time, I got an EMT certification through CMU. So
That's awesome.
mhm.
good. So you could save our life if we need it.
Yeah, you're like
Absolutely.
current.
Yeah.
I'm not-
You're
no,
still one.
I'm not current.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I
but
think
does that
yeah.
ever change? I mean,
yeah,
it's like
yeah, I trust you.
Yeah, I mean, having that ability was
She's
nice.
gone, folks.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's here.
No saving her. Yeah, I got it like right when my kids were being born, so it was kind of cool to see the process of the EMT side, and then you know put that in relation to you know my childbirth with my wife, and
Right.
I knew a lot of the stuff
That's exciting.
Right.
from class, so it was kind of cool.
That is cool. Yeah, definitely blessed for our first responders and such. So
Yep.
yeah, cool.
So what programs do you offer at Academy? Let's just jump right into lending.
I mean, just like most lenders, Academy has a core group of products that a lot of people have. So, I mean, we all do VA, FHA, conventional loan programs, USDA. There's just a lot of things that branch off of those programs, all kind of, you know, blended with CHAFA. CHAFA offers programs for each one of those as well. Academy has a couple niche programs we use. We have an Academy 100, Advantage 100 that's kind of a niche program, 100% financing, a couple little, instead of a conventional 5% down, there's a 3% conventional loan that they offer. So most basic programs that everybody has, we just kind of branch off of those and have our own
Right.
couple little, you know, matrices we follow and overlays that we use.
First-time home buyers, they always get confused in knowing where to start loan-wise. What do you, I don't know what to say.
No, that's right. Like, what would the steps be?
Yeah, what would the steps be? Like, you know, they don't understand CHAFA, they don't understand 0% down, all of that. Like, what, I don't know, makes it easier? I don't know.
I mean, first off, buying a home is not something people do every day, so a lot of people have that hesitation and the worry, and they don't know, you know, they don't know what to look for and what to expect, I guess. So just, you know, always got to reach out to, you know, make contact with us as well as you guys, and, you know, we can kind of guide them in the right direction. And, you know, first biggest thing is just to work on getting pre-qualified to where you know what you can afford and what you can land in as far as program wise. And you know, it's my job to kind of guide you and tell you, you know, give you some direction on what to expect, and hopefully I can try to make the process easier throughout and smooth, and you know, work on a program that's best suited to every buyer is going to be different. So
Yeah.
kind of put people in the right path and to success to homeownership, and then once that happens, pre-qualify, and then you guys will find them the house.
We'll take
Right.
it over.
Mhm.
Well, speaking of houses, let's jump back a little bit. So vehicles, that's how my family first met you, was when you were at Beaux-Arts. So how did you decide to end up there?
At Beaux-Arts, I just ended up there with, I got referred there from a friend of the family. Just, you know, I was going there as a summer job, kind of out of high school. I went to college for a little bit and then came back to Grand Junction and needed a summer job, and then I got hired as a valet as a summer job, and then that turned into a 20-year career.
Yeah,
I
as
built
the
my way
finance.
through as I was a mechanic for quite a while, for about 10 years, and then I became a service advisor, and then I started selling cars, and then selling cars turned into one of the business managers there, so doing auto lending for a while. So
So
Yeah,
does-
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you,
go
but
ahead.
just really working your way up, that's a perfect example of,
yeah, and
could
Ed
be
Beaux-Arts is a
anything
great
you wanna
company,
be.
and just, you know, kind of just stair-step my way up, and, you know, kept taking the opportunity when it was there, and
yeah. And then this was sort of a natural progression, don't you think, into
Yeah,
selling
auto
houses?
lending and home lending is a lot of similarities,
Similar.
but a lot of differences. But yeah, it was a fairly easy transition from one to the other.
Mhm.
So knowing some of the lending background that I had,
Made it
with
easier.
credit, people's credit, I can kind of transfer that into looking into credit reports and transferring that into mortgage.
Mhm. What are some of the things that people should watch for on their credit reports if they're looking at buying a house?
Obviously, you want to not maximize your debt load.
Don't go buy a car.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of cars, don't buy a car before closing.
Yeah, just don't buy. You can buy one, just don't buy one when you're under contract.
Right, exactly.
It'll change your
Don't
your
quit your
DTI.
job.
Yeah. Those are just some little
Yeah,
important things.
little minor things.
And most car dealerships are pretty, they're pretty knowledgeable. And if someone's telling them they're in a house, they have that, common sense to hopefully not try to close them on a
Right.
car.
Yeah.
Right.
But cars are kind of a different animal. People want one today.
Yeah, true.
In houses, you can't buy a car you can't buy a house in one day. You
No,
can buy a
it
car
takes
in
30, 40 days.
2
yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
So
true.
Is that the typical length of a closing for you guys, 30 to 45 days?
I
When
haven't
going
had
through the lending?
one that's been over 30 days.
That's awesome.
So we typically try to close in around 20 days. I think our average is around 22 or 24 days for closings.
That's amazing.
Our goal is to be 10 days. That's not every deal is going to happen that way, but everything's lined up how it should be. We can
Right.
10
Yep.
days is a good goal, and it's going to help you guys and everybody.
Yep,
Absolutely.
exactly.
And it's not necessarily that we don't want to close it that soon, but like you say, everything's got to line up. So we got to make sure the appraiser can meet the deadline that they need to in order to do that quick close. And sometimes that's hard, especially up here where we're limited
Yeah.
on appraisers. They're booked.
Yeah, a 10-day close it's cool to have that option, but it's not feasible for everybody every time, because
Right.
people that are moving out,
Right.
they got to find a place and make their deal
Yeah.
happen in 10 days, and it's hard to get all your stuff out of your house and ready to go in 10 days if you're moving out.
Don't
Yeah,
keep
that'd be
them
a
yet?
lot. Yeah.
That's true. If it's an empty property, it works out a lot
Yeah.
easier. But
Yeah, and appraisals, the way the market is now, it's pretty busy, so appraisers are they're booked, so
yeah,
We're usually 2 to 3 weeks for an appraiser.
yeah, we are, because we just don't have a whole lot. How many appraisers do you guys have in Junction?
we have a pretty good list. The number exactly, I'm not sure. I would say probably 15 or so.
Oh yeah.
And we can, they can be added to the list. We can add them to our network of
To your
appraisers.
approved
Mhm.
appraisers. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we have one up here we need to add, we can always get them added to get them on the list.
Very cool.
But I think all the ones up here are already part of that list.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Talk about your app. Because I know my
Oh, yeah.
clients love it.
Yeah,
They
it's pretty
absolutely
slick.
love it.
Yeah, Academy has a pretty nice little mobile app that benefits. I mean, it's great for me and you guys and
Yeah.
the clients. It just makes everything super easy, smooth. I can get customers' contact information from you guys, or if I get it ahead of time, if I know they're going to be working with you guys, it's easy to link everything and everybody together. So I get that person's information. I can share that app with the buyer or the borrower, or the buyer or the agent, so I can share their information with you guys. I can share your information with those guys and link, if you're their agent, I can link you to them. And then once they start that application process on the mobile app, you guys can kind of control what you see when they do. Each step is moving along. You can see that they've started the pre-qualification. They've entered into the full application. Once you have an address is when there's 6 items that are required to have a loan application. Once they get that last one, is usually the address. They'll give you guys an update. We're in we have official application. We're moving along into processing and underwriting. We have approval, then final approval. So you guys, which I don't know if you guys are aware of what you can turn on and off as far as those notifications.
Yeah, I love it.
So I know at first, when I first started using it, I was getting notification like every single time the person would even push a button. I'd have stuff like at 1 o'clock in the morning, someone would be in the app doing something, uploading a document, so I get a notification like, wake me up. what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
you can kind of turn some of those off and,
Mhm.
you know, kind of customize what you want to see when you want to see it. Yeah, and the buyer, I mean, it really has more benefit to the person using the app as the buyer, because they can upload all their documents right to the app, scan right from the app.
Mhm.
So it's pretty slick. And then once I get all that information from the borrower, I can hop into it. And if I'm not in the office and I see something I need to upload, you know, if I'm up, like right now, if I had something I needed to upload, I could just click on the app, upload it to my system, and then it all just keeps moving smoothly and no hiccups.
That's
So
awesome. I like it a lot.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, like that because they want to be at 1 o'clock in the morning doing stuff on their phone or whatever. You know, they don't want to have to come into the office. And I think
Mhm.
we're sort of transitioning towards that, where people just want to talk to you in person on their
Yeah.
schedule and what they feel they need to.
yeah, and everybody, you know, everybody has a job. They're working their normal
That's right.
hours,
Yeah.
and they don't always have time to do things throughout the day. But if they don't have access to scanners and things like that, so this
Right.
has the opportunity to use a scanner, so you can
That's
just do it
slick.
right from your house and at your own time.
Yeah, that's really slick. I think that definitely gives you an edge to have that.
Yeah, and it's, as far as a couple other tools on the app, as far as our side goes, you know, if you guys need a lender letter, approval letter, I can just hop right in the app, go into that loan. I can put in the transaction details, you know, what kind of program it is, the price range, what down payment, and then I can just ship that. I can just share it right to you guys as well as the borrower. So I can
Oh,
do
I
that.
didn't realize that.
It
That's
takes
cool.
it takes literally 30 seconds to send a approval letter to you guys if you need it, and then it goes right to the borrower too.
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't realize
That's
that part of it
exciting.
too. Yeah, neat.
There's a lot of tools in the app that, you know, we're still learning, and they're getting added as we go. New things are being
Well,
added
and it
to
just
the app.
adds all up to it. Again, if we keep those 20-day closings, this helps with it. You know, this lines it up
Speed
and
it
it's
along.
smooth and fast and easy.
Mhm.
Yeah, just makes the process keep moving forward. And the ultimate goal is to close the loan and make customers' dreams of home ownership come true. And
That's
Exactly.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Even though our jobs are stressful, we have, like, I think the best job,
Me
because we
too.
do get to help them with their first home or the home that they were dreaming of always, and so they're able to upgrade or leave being a renter and become a homeowner, all those things, and that's just really exciting.
yeah, I mean, buying a home is it's one of your biggest financial
It is.
choices in life, and
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool to
We get to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know.
And then the stress, there's an excitement in the beginning when you're working on the file, and then in between there's all that stress and work. And,
Like,
sometimes there could be no stress, and then at the end it's excitement again to
boom.
Right.
close
Yeah.
the deal and then see the smiles on their faces.
That's right.
So it's pretty
Makes it
cool
all
to see.
And the
Yeah.
friendships. I
Oh,
love
yeah,
all the
definitely.
friendships.
Yeah, you get to, you're in contact with that person for, a month or 2 or 6 months, depending on how long it takes for them to find the house. So yeah, you get to
You do.
get to kind of get into their lives and become
Mhm.
a small part of it and learn a lot about them.
That's right.
So like if someone comes to you and their credit score isn't great or where it needs to be, can you can help them? Like, do you have programs to help them and get them to that 620 or 7 that they need to be?
Yeah, and that's, you mentioned a first-time home buyers. A lot of home buyers if they're kind of weary of where their credit is, so they don't want to make that next step. They're kind of hesitant because they're almost like they're afraid to find out. They're almost afraid to hear no.
Yeah.
Right. They
And
don't
people
wanna be
don't know where
disappointed.
they're at. They just assume. So I say, a big step is just to kind of let us get involved and find out where you're at. And then sometimes people are better off on credit score than they thought they were.
Right.
But yeah, if they're not where they need to be, we have some programs with Credit Plus is a company we use for our credit reports. We can work on it. It gives us a tool and can kind of guide the borrowers what they need to do to get their score to that next level, whether it be from a 600 to a 620 that you need for down payment assistance. It'll give them a time frame of how long it will take to get their score where they need it, as well as how much money it's going to cost to get to that score, and then send that information to them, tells them exactly what to do. Pay this card down to $75. Don't pay it down to
Yeah,
0.
exactly.
Right.
So yeah, there's a pretty cool system. We can kind of guide the borrowers and help them build their credit if they need it to, you know, whatever score they need to be.
Right, that's good, that's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, and
That's
you know,
awesome.
we've had rapid rescores that I've done that, you know, takes 7 days to get someone's score
Where it needs
just
to
by
be.
removing them as an authorized user, for example. I mean, that's
Mhm.
a pretty common one, and
That does.
that can increase your
Yeah.
score, remove that debt load, and put you right where you need to be in 7 days.
So people just need to not be afraid to find out if they're okay or not, you know, because even if they aren't okay, there's a way to work on it to be okay. And if they are okay, then that's good too. So they just shouldn't be fearful. They should just-
Don't be afraid, because it may be a no for right now, but it doesn't mean it's a no always.
Right.
I mean,
right.
it's a hold off and let's work on a few things, and then we'll get you where you need to be. I mean,
right.
like I said, buying a house is a pretty big deal. So taking the right steps are important. And if you're not
Taking
quite
your
there, then
time.
it's worth the time to
That's
put the
right.
effort in to get where you need to be.
That's right. Because more than likely you're gonna live with this for, you know, at least 5 years. Your decision, you know. So you want to make sure you get the right house,
Yeah.
not just one to get you by or whatever.
So if it takes a little bit of time to wait, I mean, I think it's worth the wait to get your score where it needs to be. So you
Exactly.
can,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool.
What about interest rates? They're pretty amazing right now, right?
Yeah, interest rates are the lowest they've been in, you know, over a year. So yeah,
Time to lock in.
lower interest rates mean a little more buying power. You know,
Mhm.
lower rate helps the payment be down, so
Mhm.
you can buy a little more house than you maybe thought you could because the rates are so great.
Yeah. So people are thinking about refinancing. They could do that as well.
Yeah, you guys probably don't want to hear about refinancing. You want them to buy a new house. But yeah, refinance opportunities are great right now, whether it be, you know, if someone's in a current house and needs to take some equity to do some upgrades.
Buy an investment property.
Buy it, yeah. Pay off a car. You know,
Yeah.
pay off
There
a
you
car,
go. Yeah.
take some of that equity and put on that extra room they've always wanted,
Exactly.
Yeah.
or just do a new term and lower their payment, or just, yeah, there's a couple different you know, benefits of refinancing, and having a lower rate is a big one.
Get rid of the mortgage insurance.
Yeah, you
too.
can drop
Yeah.
your mortgage insurance because the values are up a little bit right now.
Yeah.
So once you're below that or at that 80% loan to value, you aren't required for mortgage insurance.
Very cool.
Take us through the steps of recasting. Is that how it's called recasting, right?
If you want to, yeah, if you have some equity or some cash saved up and you're starting out with, you know, your loan is X amount right now and you are expecting some cash and you want to put that money towards your property or towards your loan at a later date. You know, I had a client that recast their loan. They're moving from California and they had some equity from their sale that they didn't have yet, or they didn't want to spend it all yet. They
Mhm.
wanted to recast. They just wanted to do it in 6 months. So they took you know, a big chunk of cash from their property sale in California and then put it towards their loan balance. So it lowers your loan balance and you recast your payment on the new balance.
And it has to be done within 6 months, right?
No,
No.
no. It kind of depends on the servicer of the loan too. There's each different servicer has
Yeah.
different guidelines and parameters what they allow you to recast. Some of them you can't do a recast, just depending on who the servicer is.
Oh, so it might not be an option.
Sometimes
For
it's
people.
not an option. So, you know, if people have an interest in recasting, they typically will say it, you know,
Ahead of time.
and then we can kind of guide them into the program that allows a recast.
Otherwise, they could just talk to their financial advisor, invest that money, and keep their payment the way
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Or you can just, or you could just do a standard refinance and
Put that check
take
down.
that cash, take it as cash down and then refinance. Maybe
That's good.
take your 30-year mortgage and take your cash and put it towards the property and then turn it into a 10 or 15-year mortgage. Keep the
Oh,
same
yeah.
payment and a lower balance.
So are interest rates good enough right now to where somebody could do like a 15 or a 20 year instead of a 30 because the payment would be what the 30-year payment would have been? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or not quite yet?
Not- I mean, it all just depends on everybody's budget. You're obviously going to pay a little more. Even with the rates right now, it's still going to be a little more to do a shorter term.
Mhm.
You're cutting that term in half. So probably not the same payment, but, you know, if you can afford a few $100 more per month on a 15-year, it'd probably be worth it to knock down that loan in 15 years versus 30. You're going
Right.
to save just a ton of money on interest over the life of the loan.
Right. Right.
But yeah, shorter term loans have a little bit lower interest rate than a longer term loan. So,
All right, good deal.
Any new laws, regulations coming out?
That would affect us?
Yeah.
Are there any new laws or regulations coming down in the lending world that are gonna affect us as far as?
I mean, unfortunately, they're going to tighten up a little bit on the back end ratios as far as debt to income.
Yeah.
So, that's coming in 2020.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah.
so what would we be looking at now?
So right now, I think max DTI in some of the programs is 55%
Right,
DTI for the borrowers, and it's going to be reduced to, I believe, around 43-44%. I can't remember the exact.
ooh,
So that's going to limit some buyers' buying power on their debt.
right,
So, which we can always try to find ways around, keeping their debt to income,
Yeah.
Low.
where we can get it to qualify, paying off some things instead of taking all their cash and putting it towards their new home, put some of it towards paying off some debt. That way they can still qualify.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna pinch a little bit in 2020 as far as debt to income.
Hmm.
Another thing with CHAFA, they've kind of lowered their qualifying income on conventional programs. It used to be $114,100 annual income. They're going to be reducing that to $55,700 as of August 19th. So it's already in
Oh, really?
effect
I
as
thought
of
they did away
yesterday.
with the income limit.
They're reducing the income limit, so you can't be over 55.7.
Oh, shoot.
Unfortunately, yeah. But
Because a lot of our people up here use that program.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'd have to look back at what incomes were. I know what average income in this town is.
I'm not sure either, but I know like if we have a mine employee, it's like 75,000. It's definitely over 55.
And a lot of those too will still fall into the category of an FHA loan, which is still going to be at the 114.1. So it's going to leave that door open.
Right, but then they'd have to have 3.5% down for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, some of that 3.5% can come from the CHAFA silent second.
Oh, okay, so just the straight up CHAFA is the one that's changing.
Yeah.
Okay,
As far as the income limitations, that's for CHAFA,
okay, gotcha.
not for just standard core academy programs, just through CHAFA.
Gotcha,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, they can still come with $1,000 out of their pocket, and the remaining 3.5% down can come from CHAFA. Up to 4% of the loan amount can be used as a silent second.
Okay, all right.
So there's still some down payment assistance options that are available.
Right, okay, okay. So, yeah, that debt to income ratio
Mhm.
is gonna be tight. People really gotta just prioritize, I guess. of,
Yep, exactly.
You know, do they want the new whatever and put it on their card, or do they wanna wait and get a house?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, having a house is, like we talked about, is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
you just
is.
got to make the decision on whether you want a 3-year newer car or a brand new or a new house,
right,
Yeah.
Or-
exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever
The-
else you put on your
yeah.
credit card.
Yep.
The trip to Mexico or
Oh,
whatever.
that sounds nice. Some of us didn't get to go this year,
It was
Jared.
pretty nice.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you went to Mexico, yeah.
Yeah,
How
it
was
was.
that?
We had an awesome trip with. It was just a couples retreat.
Very good.
Just of
No
some
pun
friends
intended.
that we've had. So it was awesome.
Very cool, and your
Recommend.
kids are back in school now?
Yeah, kids started up on August 15th, so they're back in a week or so in, and they're having to get back in the routine again.
Yep.
They keep forgetting one thing each night, like, oh, I forgot my spelling book, or I forgot this, and
Mhm.
so they're already bringing homework, back after not even a week back in. So they've
That's
been.
Holy
crazy.
smokes,
They gotta
yeah.
get back
I
in the
don't know-
routine.
I don't know if I'm ready. Cody starts preschool next week, and I don't know if I'm ready. I don't want her to.
Why? It'll be fine. She'll love it.
No, but
She'll have that preschool lined out in no time.
exactly.
I'll just think of all the new, they get new friends and they start
Yeah.
talking about their buddies, and so it's pretty fun. I mean,
Yes.
obviously,
Yep.
Watching kids grow up it's pretty cool.
It is cool, you know, and I always say this to the people that just have kids, that people tell you, you know, oh, it goes really fast, and you're a new parent, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And then when they're graduating high school or they're graduating college or you're at their wedding, you're like, holy shit, they were right. It does go really fast.
Where do they go?
It does
Yeah,
go really fast, yeah.
exactly.
So you got to just enjoy every second of it, and it's cool to see them growing and changing, and you know.
Get their own identity. and-
Exactly, yeah.
And hopefully we didn't
Cody's
screw
always
them up.
nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully we-
Like crossing your fingers and
Right,
toes,
right.
like.
Hopefully didn't we guided him and gave him some life lessons that kind of put him on the right path and
Yep.
raised good little humans.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what is one piece of advice you would give a new buyer, first-time home buyer?
Oh, that's a tough question, but like I said, I mean, don't be afraid. I mean,
Don't be afraid. Yeah.
I mean, it is a big thing in life, but it's so awesome to have your own house, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
just don't be afraid of what's in store. Because if you're not ready now, you can be ready, you know, when its time is right for you. I mean,
Right.
so yeah, just don't be afraid to be a homeowner.
Reach out.
Reach out
Get
and
started. At
just-
least
yeah,
get
just-
started.
Right.
Yeah, don't wait because you know once you get there, you wish you would have done it a long time ago.
Exactly. Well, I was working with a first-time home buyer last night, and she said that exact same thing. Is that, you know, she wasn't afraid to go in because she thought she was sitting in a pretty good spot. Found out she was, and then decided, okay, for what I'm paying in rent, I could pay less in a mortgage.
Mhm.
So I'm going to benefit for myself and not for my landlord.
Yeah, you won't
Yeah,
be paying
that's
off
right.
someone else's mortgage. You'll be
Yeah.
starting to build equity in your own property in your own home.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, our company does property management too, but we would a lot rather see those people as homeowners.
Yeah.
Our investors probably don't want to hear us say that.
Yeah,
but-
exactly.
But, you know, I mean, that is just...
It's so
that's
rewarding.
Irreplaceable, yeah. And
Yeah,
to have
homeownership
that.
is a great investment.
It is, exactly. Investing in yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Very cool.
Okay, so talk about like the building and the renovation loans.
Oh.
And give me that watch.
Go, no, I gotta get this.
Okay,
I
the
need to hurry.
renovation in the building. Ask them if they do anything like that.
Okay, so I should wait so he
So
has
do you
time
have
to
any, like,
splice it.
Yeah, renovation or whatever loans.
Do you have any products for renovation, home renovation loans, or building construction, stuff like that?
We have a kind of a pilot program for it's a one-time close for a construction
Okay,
loan.
perfect.
So it's kind of in the works, and I don't have a lot of details on it, but we have one guy at our office that's kind of the go-to guy. He's running the pilot for that.
Mhm.
So it's kind of in the works right now, but that way you don't have to go through and have a construction loan and then transfer that into a permanent mortgage. It's
Right.
all just a one process
That's perfect.
rather than a two-step
awesome.
process.
That's perfect, because we have some people that maybe don't want to use like their bank for
Mhm.
that, and I think sometimes the banks sort of make them feel like they have to. If we do the construction, then we will also do the permanent, and they're like, no, we like Jere at Academy, we want to use him. So now you would have that ability.
Yeah, and hopefully it just takes off once the pilot is finished running, and we can just everybody will be able to work through that program, and then we don't have to worry about not getting that permanent mortgage from the bank or.
Mhm.
Right.
So yeah, that's a big program that's in the works.
And do you do home equity lines of credit? Do you do those?
No, we don't. We don't have
That's-
we don't do home equity loans or lines of credit.
Okay.
So that's local banks or
Sure.
credit unions be
Yeah.
the source for that.
Okay. And building, as far as commercial buildings, if somebody wants to buy a commercial building, that's still local bank.
Yeah, we're not a commercial lender, just primary residence.
Primary investment. Do you investment
Investment, yeah, I'm
property,
sorry, primary
So
and investment,
residential
residential
property.
properties, yep,
Mhm.
no commercial.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Do you have to do continuing education and stuff too?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
just
you
like
guys.
us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think we have quite as much as you guys are required. We're only required an 8-hour class a year.
Mm.
Oh,
You guys
that's-
are probably more than that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, we are.
20,
Yeah, 24.
24 hours now.
Nice.
And a lot of times Academy will put on, clinics and classes that can be used for you guys as
Oh.
CE. So if something
That's
comes
cool.
up, we can always
Yeah,
throw
let
you
us
guys
know.
on the
Yeah,
email.
let us
and
know.
Yeah, definitely. Cool,
Just to
that's
grab a
good.
couple extra hours if you need it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you don't want to sit in a 24-hour class. You can kind of
Right.
piece it together,
Right.
2 or 3
Exactly.
here and there.
Well, and it's always nice just for us to, even though we're not allowed to talk about financing and things, just to have the general idea of what goes on, because your clients do always ask you, okay, so what do we do for this, what do we do for that? And we say, well, you gotta talk to your lender. But if we have just a general understanding, just like title work, we have a general understanding, then we're able to just sort of competently guide them and, towards you for
Give
better
them a little
explanation.
insight and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they can reach out for a little more
Yep, that's
clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm, learning your guys' side too is I gotta learn how to read the contract, and so we have contract classes that we can attend and kind of learn your side. So
Nice.
I think learning contracts is important too.
It is.
Yep, it is. It
You know,
helps.
we're all working together as a team, so
Like, oh,
everybody knows
you know,
what's going on.
This needs to be signed. Oh, I didn't realize that. You know,
Yeah.
This part
Yeah.
is missing an initial, or this part is missing this, or where to
Right.
look and find, line 18, section, whatever, part of the
Right.
contract.
Yep, you can just pull it up easy and fast.
And those kind of change too, a little bit from time
They
to
do.
time.
Yeah.
They do,
Yep.
yeah.
So staying on top of that is, I think, important as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, true that.
Cool.
Well, thank you for driving up. We really appreciate it. At least it's a pretty drive.
Yeah, it was a good ride up, and driving through the valley there and along the river, up
Yeah.
through the mountains. I love being up in the hills and the outdoors. So just driving up is a good time. So yeah, it's
Well-
not a bad drive. It goes by quick, and
Yep.
And we appreciate that you come up for closings with the clients. That's
Yeah,
really
that
nice
really-
too.
yeah, appreciate you guys having me up, and being at the closings is I feel like is a pretty important thing.
Right.
So getting a lot of times when I come up here for a closing, it's maybe the first time I've met that borrower.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we just communicate over the phone or via
Right.
the app or text or
Right.
so. And I don't think I haven't met a couple of them yet. I wasn't able to attend some closings, so I need to try to coordinate and swing
Coordinate.
by and say hi and meet them. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Awesome.
Well, I think it's only been a few that you've missed. So, but you had, I think there was like a baseball tournament or something
Yeah.
going on for
Yeah.
your son. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the ones I missed were
Yeah.
just
So
because
you
of
were
baseball.
like in another state, like in Utah.
Yeah, I was in in Vernal.
Yeah. Did you win? Do you remember? Did they win?
We didn't win the tournament in
Oh, that's
Vernal,
right.
but
Yeah.
we won a
come
couple
on, yeah.
games.
Wow.
We had
Next year.
we had a pretty good run for the first year for this team.
Oh, good. That's
7
awesome.
tournaments. We were in 4 championship games and won 3. So
Wow, that's pretty good for the first year.
yeah, the kids
Yeah.
worked hard. They put
Good.
in a lot of time in the cage and on the field and techniques, and so
Mhm.
yeah, it was fun.
Practice makes perfect
Awesome.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, this is fun. Appreciate it, and
Good.
you guys
Yeah. Hopefully we
put together
close
a
a
pretty
bunch
good
more.
little show, and
Thanks.
I'll have to keep watching for future episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna be good.
Yeah, it'll get better each time. I don't know, or Sandra will drink more. I'm not sure which, but yeah.
Learning curve. Just gotta learn a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
Jer. We
Thanks, guys.
appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
We'd like to give a big shout out to E&L Signs for being our sponsor of this podcast. E&L Signs serves Western Colorado and Eastern Utah for all your screen printing and vehicle lettering needs. With over 30 years experience, Ed and Lori will get it done for you. So remember, E&L Signs.